Why people say yes emotionally but no practically? Or my personal favorite, I already know I'm not buying this, but I don't want this conversation to become awkward. Human beings are emotionally designed to avoid uncomfortable confrontations. People don't buy logically first, they buy emotionally first. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak Smart. If you've been listening to this podcast regularly, first of all, thank you so very much. No, seriously, we've had 13 episodes so far, and the love, messages, feedback, and conversations around communication, confidence, workplace readiness, and human behavior have been incredible. And if you're new here, hi, this is Nikhil Malhotra. I'm a CPD certified corporate soft skills trainer and facilitator. And through my work with students, professionals, and organizations, I spend a lot of time understanding something really very fascinating: the human behavior. Not just communication, but why people behave the way they behave, why people hesitate, why people delay decisions, why people say yes emotionally, but no practically. And today's episode is exactly about that. Today, we are talking about the sentence that almost everybody has heard at some point in life: I'll think about it. Now, let's be honest. Sometimes I'll think about it genuinely means I need time. But many a times, I'll think about it actually means I'm confused, I'm scared, I don't trust this fully yet, I don't want to say no directly, or my personal favorite, I already know I'm not buying this, but I don't want this conversation to become awkward. And if you've ever worked in sales, training, freelancing, business, leadership, consulting, content creation, or honestly, even the relationships, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because human beings rarely reject directly. Most people reject indirectly. In fact, human beings are emotionally designed to avoid uncomfortable confrontations. That's why instead of saying, no, I don't want this, people say, I'll think about it. Let me discuss it with my family. I'll get back to you, maybe next month. Send me the details once. And the legendary corporate line, let's circle back on this. Circle back? Dude, we both know that this circle is never coming back. And honestly, this happens because people don't buy logically first. They buy emotionally first and then justify logically later. This is one of the biggest things I've learned while training professionals and observing workplace behavior. People don't just buy products, they buy certainty, identity, comfort, status, trust, emotional safety. Think about it. Why does someone spend extra money on a branded phone when another phone can technically do the same work? Emotion. Why do people buy expensive shoes they'll wear twice a year? Emotion. Why do people suddenly become health conscious right after watching one emotional reel at 2 a.m. while eating chips? Emotion. Human beings are emotional decision makers pretending to be logical thinkers. And the moment you understand this, communication changes, sales changes, leadership changes, even relationships change. Let me give you a realistic corporate example. Imagine a manager introducing a new software to the team. Now, logically, the software is better. It saves time, improves productivity, reduces manual effort. It's perfect. But employees still resist it. Why? Because people are not thinking, is this software useful? They are instead thinking, will this make my work harder? What if I look stupid while learning this? What if younger employees learn faster than me? What if I fail? To see the difference? The real objection is emotional, not technical. And this is exactly why professionals fail while convincing people. They answer logical objections without understanding emotional resistance. And that's a huge mistake. And honestly, this doesn't happen only in sales. Even interviews work similarly. Sometimes candidates think my answers were correct. Why didn't I get selected? Because communication is not only about correctness, it's also about emotional confidence. People ask themselves, can I trust this person? Can this person handle pressure? Will this person fit the culture? And that's psychology. And once you understand psychology, communication becomes much more powerful. Now, let me share a framework that can genuinely help you understand why people hesitate before buying anything. And I call that the trust framework. It's very simple, very practical. T stands for tension, R stands for risk, U stands for uncertainty, S for safety, T for timing. Whenever someone says, I'll think about it, usually one of these things is happening. Either there is tension, that means this feels important and I don't want to make a wrong decision, or there is a risk. What if this doesn't work? Or maybe there is uncertainty. I still don't fully understand this. Or safety. Can I trust this person? Or maybe the timing. Maybe this is not the right time financially or mentally. Now imagine how powerful your communication becomes when you understand this instead of forcing people. You start understanding people, and that changes everything. Honestly, forcing never works long term anyway. The best communicators don't pressure people, they reduce fear. And that's leadership too, by the way. Great leaders reduce uncertainty, great trainers reduce confusion, great communicators reduce emotional resistance. And this is why I keep saying communication is not about speaking, it's about understanding better. Now, let me give you a funny but very painfully realistic example. Have you noticed how people suddenly become financial advisors when buying a course for themselves, but order food online without thinking twice? The person will say, two triple nine rupees for a skill building session. I'll think about it. And 5 minutes later, extra cheese pizza, please. Cold coffee, yes. Late night dessert, absolutely yes. Suddenly the budget disappears. Why? Because one purchase gives immediate dopamine, the other requires effort and growth. And growth is uncomfortable. That's another big psychological truth. Human beings love results but resist transformation. Everybody wants confidence, but very few people want the discomfort required to build that confidence. Everybody wants success. Very few people want consistency. Everybody wants communication skills, but very few people want to practice speaking daily. And honestly, this is why disciplined people eventually stand up. Not because they are magically talented, because they continue after motivation disappears. And that's powerful. And if you've been following Speak Smart for a while, you'll notice that this connects beautifully with episode 7, where we talked about confidence and preparation. I'll add that episode in the I button because confidence and decision making psychology are deeply connected. Also, episode 3 about introductions is surprisingly connected to this topic too, because people form buying decisions based on the first impressions faster than they realize. And I've added that too. Now, let's talk about something very important for professionals watching this. So, if you're working in HR, sales, management, training, consulting, freelancing, entrepreneurship, and remember, objection is not rejection. I'm so sorry. Objection is not rejection. And I'll repeat that. Objection is not rejection. Sometimes people simply need more clarity, more trust, more emotional safety, more certainty. And instead of attacking objections, learn to explore them calmly. One framework that I personally love for handling objections professionally is called LACE: listen, acknowledge, clarify, educate. It's very simple. Listen fully first, acknowledge the concern, clarify the real issue, then educate gently, not aggressively. Because the moment people feel pressured, their brain enters defensive mode, and defensive people rarely buy. Now, before we continue, I want to share something exciting with you. Over time, while working with different personalities and professionals, I realized something important. Most people struggle in careers not because they are incapable, but because they don't fully understand themselves. And that's exactly why I designed the Unite Persona assessment. This assessment helps you understand your personality traits, communication tendencies, strengths and weaknesses, gives you a complete SWOT analysis, and even the suitable career paths based on your behavioral patterns. And honestly, the response has been amazing by far. So if you want to understand yourself better professionally and personally, the link is in the description. Once you complete the assessment, your detailed report will be available within 48 hours. And trust me, self awareness changes everything because clarity about yourself creates clarity in communication too. Now, coming back, there's one more thing that people misunderstand about persuasion. Persuasion is not manipulation. Healthy persuasion means helping people make confident decisions. Manipulation creates pressure, persuasion creates clarity. There's a huge difference. And some of the best communicators in the world are not loudspeakers, they are calm observers. They notice the hesitation, confusion, tone shifts, emotional reactions, because communication is not just words, communication is psychology in motion. And honestly, once you start understanding people emotionally, life becomes easier too. You stop taking rejection personally. You stop assuming every no is failure. You stop chasing validation desperately, and that gives confidence. Real confidence, not the motivational quote confidence, actual emotional stability. And that matters a lot in professional life. Now, before we end today's episode, let me leave you with one final thought. When people say, think about it, don't immediately panic. Instead, ask yourself, what emotion is stopping the decision? That question changes the game. Because behind almost every delayed decision, there is an emotional reason hiding behind logical words. And if you learn to communicate with both logic and empathy, you become powerful, not just in business, in life. If today's episode gave you value, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon because every Sunday we are building practical communication and professional growth conversations here on Speak Smart. If you are someone looking to improve your professional communication, workplace confidence, public speaking, leadership presence, interview skills, or soft skills professionally, you can connect with me directly through LinkedIn, Instagram, or WhatsApp. The links are available in the description. I also conduct paid online professional development sessions for students and working professionals who genuinely want structured growth. And honestly, if you've stayed till this point in the episode, I already know one thing about you. You want growth. And that itself puts you ahead of many people. So keep learning, keep improving, keep showing up because communication is not a talent people are born with, it's a skill people build. I'll see you in the next episode. Until next time, speak clearly, speak confidently, and most importantly, speak smart.